see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Hey, I guess you folks couldn't hear me there for a second. Andre got out of the way, and I hit the unmute button so you guys can hear me. Shelby and Chase are going down to the wire right now. You can listen to that on WOHS. Go to kdcbroadcasting.com. Click on the big green button. It'll pull up the player. You can listen there. Right now, we've got scores across the area. Burns 54-7. We're going to have highlights from that game. East Lincoln 40-30. We're going to have scores from that. I tell you what, Andre, I got to answer this call. Will you go over the scores real quick that we've had so far? And, well, let me tell you what. I'll tell you what. Let's see. Just drop. I'm going to tell Tanner something real quick. Yeah, go ahead and do the scores real quick. I just read the first one. 40-30. East Lincoln over North Lincoln right now.
Then we got East Rutherford. Burns defeated East Rutherford 54-7. Got South Point Red Raiders over Stuart Kramer 42-24. St. Stephen's defeated Bessemer City 48-0. Thomas Jefferson defeated Mountain Island Charter 25-21. Vandy's defeated Lincolnton 52-8.
Did you get the Thomas Jefferson one? I'm sorry. Crest 48, Ashbrook 6. Final coming across the board, folks. So we're going to get these scores coming across up here for you in just a few moments. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. This is the post-game show brought to you by Full Throttle Powersports of Lowell, folks. These guys, they've got anything and everything you could think of down there. Yeah, just everything. Polaris, all the four-wheelers, all the UTVs, everything you could want. Full Throttle Powersports down in Lowell. See those folks today. Just outstanding. I forgot about Will Boykins a minute ago. I was supposed to call him back. We're gonna, as soon as, Tom and Dennis and someone comes in here and Elson starts talking, I can do some other stuff. But we're getting ready. Andre's getting some scores together. As Shelby took a 47-41 lead just a few moments ago, and Dennis is gonna come in and start talking about some of these games, what's going on in the area, and I'm gonna get some of these guys. I'm gonna try to get Will set up here in just a moment.
All right.
And then all of a sudden, no, go get Dad. So Shelby just something happened. Go get Dad. Somewhere. Sorry, folks, yelling at people down the hall. The signal for the Shelby game got cut off there for a second. Folks, thanks for tuning in again. We're getting scores up across. Gonna have all those for you guys in a minute. Shelby and Chase are going down to the wire. Last score we had.
West Lincoln 27-19.
Is that final? West Lincoln wins 27-19. Just came across the board. West Lincoln Rebels 27-19. It's right almost at your chest. Right in front of you. Andre's got to get his eyes checked, Dennis.
27-19. West Lincoln.
Rebels victorious at home tonight. Jason Sain reporting on that. We'll hear from him in a little bit. All right, Dennis, give some of the scores real quick. I'm going to try to get Will hooked up.
All right, while you're hooking up Will, I'm going to start with that, what we thought was the conference winning matchup, East Lincoln and North Lincoln. And the final in that one, East Lincoln 40, North Lincoln 30.
30-0. I wrote that
All right.
wrong.
Chase and Shelby. That has been a whiz bang tonight, folks. And the last time I heard, Shelby had just scored a touchdown, intercepted a pass. Looks like with about 2 minutes to go, Kevin, they're probably going to pull that one out like, I don't know what the score, the final will be, but it was like 39-34 or something like that. East Rutherford and Burns. Well, the Bulldogs didn't have Tom broadcasting tonight, but they didn't need him. They beat East Rutherford and the Cavaliers tonight 54-7. Cherryville and Highland Tech is just over. I think Cherryville won that one. I don't have the score up yet. Over in South Point and Kramer, the battle of the haves and the have-nots. South Point showed them we've got football at Belmont, and they beat Kramer tonight 42-24. St. Stephen's and Bessemer City. Kevin, we went out on a limb for your alma mater, but next time we'll count the roster and see who's got the most players. It was St. Stephen's 30, Bessemer City 0 tonight. Thomas Jefferson in a clash with Mountain Island Charter. I took Mountain Island Charter, and I fell a little bit short tonight because Thomas Jefferson beat Mountain Island Charter tonight 25-21. Chris Hawk, I'm mad at you. You let me down. I thought you'd pull that one out for me. Bandy's over Lincoln tonight 52-8. It was West Lincoln. The Rebels rose again tonight. Terry, I hope you're out there listening to this. West Lincoln 27, Newton Conover 19. Crest over Ashbrook tonight, 42-6. Is that a halftime score? Oh, I'm sorry. That's a final. Bunker Hill over Drone tonight. Bunker Hill's pretty good football team and an even better beef stew, 44-6 over Drone tonight. West Caldwell over West Iredale tonight, 47-15. It was Community School of Davidson over Union Academy, 42-0. Watauga, the Pioneers, won tonight, 23-6 over Hickory. Hickory's not doing too good this year, Kevin. I think they're 0-3. High Brighton, 43, North Rowan, 0 tonight. And in the latest one, East Burke, 37, Patton, 6. And wait a minute. Andre, that can't be right. You've got McDowell losing tonight 50-0 to South Caldwell. They were undefeated. Now they got defeat. Anyway, McDowell is no longer undefeated. They lost tonight 50-0. And coming into the broadcast studio is Mr. Thomas Centofani, the Italian Stallion, as he's known to all his friends and neighbors. Old number 41.
Yeah, let's listen to that.
Slider. 3.
Three, the other one.
Oh, 3.
There we go. Just listen to the end of it. Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones on the call. Shelby outlast Chase 47-41. There at the end, Chase just couldn't stop the Shelby ground attack. You know, Shelby got the a poor punt, a good return, 1 yard scoring drive, and then they were able to get an interception, and they were able to run the ball and run the clock out. They actually ran it down to the 5 yard line, could have had another touchdown, but I think Chase's defense just got worn out, and there in the fourth quarter, they were having a hard time stopping Shelby. Shelby outlast Chase, but I just have to give a shout-out to my good friend, my dear friend, Chris Cogdell. I feel for you, brother. I know it was a tough game for you tonight. I know you really wanted that win. It would have been a signature win for that program, Dennis, but they come up a little short. They led most of the game. Jeff Jones said in the fourth quarter was the first time Shelby had the ball and the lead at the same time.
Well, you don't talk about moral victories, Tom. but for Coach Cognell, it was definitely a moral victory.
Yeah.
But it was almost a real victory.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Gabe Hewitt was probably the MVP tonight, not for his passing, not for his running, but for that punt that he put down.
Oh, yeah, by the 3 yard
to the 3 yard line.
And that backed up Chase that couldn't get the first down, and then they didn't have a great punt, which was returned to the 19-yard line, and then I think it was Phillips that went in one play and then went in for a touchdown. So that was the dagger, and then the interception on the next series for Chase, and Shelby's able to run out the clock. So congratulations to Coach Wilbanks and his guys, 47-41. Shelby a winner over Chase. Just tough break for Chase. They just can't crack that Shelby nut, man. They just can't get it.
Made
They've
them
come
blink.
close.
Made
They
them blink.
did.
I
They
think
did.
that they made them blink about several times before. I think the closest was a field goal one year.
Yeah.
But they're something like 50-0, or Chase is 0-50 against Shelby.
Yeah, well, Hampton and Boykins and a couple other guys they have, they played hard. Miller, I think, is the kid who's going to Coastal Carolina. I mean, they really played spirited, played hard. But in the end, like I said, I think that the defense just got worn down there at the end. Dennis, they just got a little worn down and just couldn't stop the Shelby ground attack. But Shelby's got some issues in stopping the run, and they're going to have to go to the drawing board this week at practice and work on some things, because if they can't stop the run against Burns, it's going to be another tough game for Shelby, because Burns has a few guys that like to run the ball, especially I want to say it's this year I started to say Keywan Pryor again. Keywan was there year.
It's late, Tom.
LJ Allen and others to run the ball for Burns. They're going to have and Sweezy's carrying the ball a lot more this year. So I think that, in watching the film, Burns is going to try to exploit that, the interior defense of Shelby not really stopping the run as they traditionally do. Another score just came in. RS Central, no surprise there, 56-27 over North Gaston. Want to thank my friend John in Lincolnton for bringing us West Lincoln over Newton Conover. That one's 27-19. West Lincoln a winner. Some other scores that we've had come in. South Point over Kramer, 42-24. Good call on the Bessemer City game, Dennis. 30-0 St. Stephen's.
Go ahead. Rub it in, Tom.
I want to thank my old classmate, Beth Butlak in Mount Holly, who gives me the Mountain Island charter scores. Her kids go to Mountain Island Charter. Tough break for them tonight. Thomas Jefferson defeats Mountain Island Charter 25-21. So
and I
was a big
took
game.
Mountain Island Charter in that one too.
Yeah, it was a close game, and her kids were at the game, so she was able to text them and get me a score. So I know that Beth doesn't listen, but if anybody from the area knows her, just make sure she said I called her my de facto Mountain Island Charter reporter, so she's been bringing us the scores for the last few weeks. So we do appreciate that. McDowell was 2-0, but they got blanked 50-0 by South Caldwell today.
Take away that.
Wow. Yeah.
Take away that.
And then High Brighton over North Moran, 43-0. Community School of Davidson over Union Academy, 42-0. West Caldwell over West Iredale, 47-15. Bunker Hill over Drone, 44-6. And East Burke's won a few games, Kevin. 37-6 over Patton tonight. So East Burke, they might be 2-1 on the season now. Might be 3-0. I have to check their record. They're having a pretty good season so far.
You've got standings in front of you.
So I've got the standings in front of me. If I could find East Burke, they're not in the Big South.
JP, we got a final on Huss and Kings Mountain yet?
East Burke is 3-0, Kevin. East Burke is 3-0. Congratulations to the Cavaliers.
All right.
Having a good season.
I need to give a shout out to my buddy Emily Lutz.
Yeah, I know Emily. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she's playing tennis up at Lenore Ryan and is undefeated so far.
Good.
So anyway.
Now, wait a minute. I think that's a different Emily Lutz.
Yeah, I think I messed up the first name on that. It's a senior moment. I'm sorry.
I get it. Tanner was there.
Yeah, let's get ready to say.
Robert Lutz is her father, and he's going to
probably be angry with you.
Probably be angry.
Because when you said attendance, it's like, no, this kid graduated about 12, 13 years ago, so I knew she wasn't playing.
She wasn't playing tennis.
tennis.
Yeah, I had a mental lapse there.
That's okay.
Natalie Lutz. She played tennis over at Kings Mountain.
Okay.
And is at Lenore Ryan right now, and
Okay.
she is a freshman up there and is undefeated. Natalie, my apologies to you, to your mom, to your dad, to your grandfather, to your grandmother, and to Lenore Ryan and all the bears everywhere, hibernating and not.
Dennis, you corrected yourself. You're
Yes.
okay. All
Yeah.
right. So
Robert will text me in a little while and chastise me.
Watauga,
But I did pick Bessemer City tonight, so what do I know?
Watauga over Hickory 23-6 as well. Hickory struggling. I think they're 0-3 on the season. Look at Bandy's over Lincolnton, 52-8. Lincolnton struggling a little bit this year, 52-8.
Well, Lincoln beat Newton Conover.
Yeah, West Lincoln, I think. Wasn't it West Lincoln that beat Newton Conover? Yeah, 27-19.
What you got on that Kings Mountain? Is it 33-0?
The last I saw was 33-0. I don't know if that's the final.
And that Crest score is 42-6.
And Bandy's was 0-2 on the season.
Right. They hadn't started off good at all. I talked to one of their alums today, and they weren't too confident about tonight's game. And, well, I guess they're feeling better now after that. They know they're better than Lincoln, and I'll tell you that, Tom.
I just tell you, their program last 3 or 4 years has fallen off. I mean, they're Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're falling off.
Well, Coach Glass has come over there, and he's been trying to build the program back. The problem is, Tom, when you don't have the horses.
Yeah, I know.
You know, like you said earlier, something about the Kentucky Derby and the mules.
But they used to always have some horses at Lincoln. I mean,
Yeah.
they used to always. I remember back when the Goo played, you know.
Oh,
back
yeah. I remember back when Crest played Lincoln, and
Yes.
they used to wear us out.
Yeah. That's been way back in the day.
Well,
yeah.
we won't talk about that.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was before
Cherville
my time.
used to tear us up.
Yeah.
You like that, don't you, Andre?
Well, just some more scores from around the area. East Lincoln over North Lincoln, 40-30. Shelby over Chase, 47-41. Burns big over East Rutherford, setting up the showdown between
Next
3-0
week.
Shelby and 3-0 Chase. Jeff Jones and I will be there calling that one.
That's at Burns or Shelby?
That is at Shelby, right, Kevin? The Shelby Burns is at Shelby next week. I can't remember. I'm kind of out of the group. I mean, yeah, last year it was. I'll have to look because
It'll be somewhere.
last year I was a little more in tune because it's in the fall when it's supposed to be, and
Yeah.
we were calling them all the games every week. But now I'm a little disconnected, so let me figure this one out.
Well, we've got that on a sheet here somewhere.
Well, Andre, find out that Cheryl Highland Texas final score. I was about to say, why don't we have that one yet? Okay. Well, it'll be at Burns next week. Is what I had.
At Burns? Okay. So it's at Burns.
Yeah.
You and Jeff Jones doing that game. Burns wins tonight 54-7. East Lincoln 40-30. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Get a little bit organized. Get some more scores in. And we'll be back in a few minutes on KTC Broadcasting. If I did my commercial.
Shelby at Burns next
Okay,
week.
so Shelby will be at Burns.
Yeah, and South Point at East Rutherford.
That'll be a
West
wash.
Lincoln at Lincolnton, and Community School of Davidson at Cherryville next week. Right here on KTC. Why would you listen anyplace else?
All right, we're going to take a quick break, guys. Like I said, get some organized on some stuff, get our scores together. We'll be back in a few minutes on the postgame show. Well, no wonder nobody came. We'll be back in a few minutes on the postgame show. We're going to get organized and get some scores together on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Boiling Springs Carpet and Tile wishes all the Cleveland County football teams the best of luck this season. Boiling Springs Carpet and Tile is your full-service flooring center with a great selection of quality brands. Flooring by Mannington, Thermocore, XL, Permastone, and new waterproof Mohawk Redwood. Carpeting by Mohawk, Shaw, and Southwind. Hardwood flooring by Somerset and Shaw, and luxury waterproof vinyl plank and tile. Check them out at 137 North Main Street, Bowling Springs. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5:30, Saturday 10 to 1. By appointment, 704-434-9019.
Has life's little surprises got you feeling small? Come just around the corner to Bridges Hardware in Kings Mountain, where your problem becomes their problem. Their trained customer service associates can help you take care of all your hardware needs. Bridges Hardware, located at the corner of King and Chancellor Streets in Kings Mountain. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Give them a call at 704-739-5461. That's Bridges Hardware at the corner of King and Chancellor Streets in Kings Mountain. Dellinger's Jewel Shop in Kings Mountain is a fourth-generation, family-owned, 131-year-old business that has consistently supported the Kings Mountain community and high school sports. Dellinger's offers quality diamonds, gold and silver jewelry, custom jewelry, and jewelry repair, and great gift items and free gift wrapping. And they offer a sale price every day. So remember them for that special gift. Looking for that perfect engagement ring? They have a great selection of preset rings and loose diamonds. They're the place to go for better diamonds at a better price. Dellinger's Jewel Shop, 112 West Mountain Street, Kings Mountain. Call 704-739-8031.
The J. Morgan Company is proud of our Cleveland County high schools, Burns, Crest, Kings Mountain, and Shelby, and wishes all of our local high school athletes good luck. Whether it be football, cross country, tennis, soccer, basketball, volleyball, swimming, wrestling, track, golf, softball, or baseball, best wishes for a good season. Take the discipline, integrity, sportsmanship, and winning spirit you learn participating in your sport and use this to be successful and happy for the rest of your life. And fans, go out and support these student athletes by being in attendance at their games.
Just in Time Plumbing wishes Cleveland County high school football teams the best of luck this season. Family owned and operated, serving Cleveland and Gaston counties. They handle bathtub and vanity installation, new home construction plumbing, commercial sinks, Renai tankless water heaters, waterline repairs, unclogging drains, gas piping, and more. And they offer project financing. Their licensed service professionals provide first-class service on time, on budget, 24/7. Call 704-600-8350 for your free estimates. Just-in-time plumbing every time. 107 South City Street, Kings Mountain.
I'm your phone. Stuck down here between your seat and your console? Playing a little hide and seek.
Cold. Boiling. Jackpot. And if you've got cut rate car insurance, you could be picking up these charges yourself.
So get Allstate, where agents help keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Your local Allstate agent is Damon Scott. Give him a call at 704-484-3463. Bugs, beware the web. The Kneeline Cove Termite and Pest Control web, that is. There's got to be a reason Kneeline Cove Termite and Pest Control has been voted the best pest control service in our area every year since 2010. They bring 50 years of experience from residential to commercial. They also do moisture control along with waterproofing, new construction treatments, mold and mildew remediation, plus fire and mosquito control. For a free estimate, call 866-990-0004 or visit the website at carolinapestcontrol.com. Kneeline Cove Termite and Pest Control, 201 North Main Street in Bowling Springs. Sometimes the cheapest auto body shop turns out to be the most expensive. That's why we recommend Sism & Son Paint and Body Shop in Kings Mountain. Your car is one of the most important investments you do for yourself and your family. From auto body repair and painting to motorcycle refinishing to dent removal to 24-hour towing service. Call Sism & Son Paint and Body Shop at 704-730-0050. Yes, accidents do happen, and Sism & Son Body Shop is there for you when it does. Again, call 704-730-0050. Shope Shoes in Shelby has all the top men's and women's safety footwear brands. Red Wing, Wolverine, Timberland, Ariettes, and more. Come on in for a free foot scan. Then let them direct you toward one of 4 Atrix orthotic inserts, customized to your foot comfort and needs. to help you get up and go, check out their great athletic brands, Gravity Defier, Brooks and New Balance, plus popular hiker brands like Merrill and Keene. Shope Shoes, wishing all Cleveland County teams great luck this season. 1843 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open Monday through Saturday 9 to 7, Sunday 1 to 5. Call 704-482-8653.
Bowling Springs Carpet and Tile wishes all the Cleveland County football teams the best of luck this season. Bowling Springs Carpet and Tile is your full-service flooring center with a great selection of quality brands. Flooring by Mannington, Thermocore, XL, Permastone, and new waterproof Mohawk Redwood. Carpeting by Mohawk, Shaw, and Southwind. Hardwood flooring by Somerset and Shaw. And luxury waterproof vinyl plank and tile. Check them out at 137 North Main Street, Bowling Springs. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5:30, Saturday, 10 to 1. By appointment, 704-434-9019.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the broadcast. And we're getting up and ready and going. It looks like I got connected to Will a second ago when I wasn't looking. Will, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. I know I ain't got your volume up yet. Just give me.
Hey, Will.
Still working on technical difficulties. The more important thing is we got a thumbs up from Will. And even after last week, he still doesn't have a Tampa Bay Bucks hat on. He's got the wrong Bay. There's Will. We're going to get him set up real quick. Tom, check out the do the scores for everybody.
Okay.
And then I'm going to see if I can get Will going.
All right, from around the area, it was East Lincoln 40, North Lincoln 30. These are all finals, by the way. Shelby over Chase in a good one, 47-41. Burns big over East Rutherford, 54-7. And Cherryville gets a first win of the year, 33-12.
Ironman.
Over Highland Tech. South Point over Stuart Kramer, 42-24. RS Central, 56-27. That puts them that over East Gaston. That puts them at 2-1 in the conference, so they're still in the race to get a playoff spot. St. Stephen's blanks Bessemer City 30-0. Thomas Jefferson wins a tight one with Mountain Island Charter 25-21. Bandy's big over Lincolnton 52-8. West Lincoln over Newton Conover 27-19. Crest big over Ashbrook 42-6, as I've got to move seats. And Kings Mountain blanks Huss 35-0. East Burke moves to 3-0 on the year, 3-0, 37-6 over Patton. Bunker Hill 44-6 over Drone. West Caldwell 47-15 over West Iredale. Don't have anything on Pine Lake Prep and Christ the King. We'll try to find something out. Community School of Davidson 42-0 over Union Academy. Watauga defeats Hickory 23-6. Alexander Central in a romp over Freedom 53-12. South Caldwell blanks McDowell 50-0. And High Brighton does the same to North Rowan 43-0. Kevin?
Will, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Uh-oh. Look at this. We accidentally hit some buttons right. Well, I'm gonna dial you in there, Will. How's it going down there on that end of the state?
Oh, it's wonderful down here in this end of the state. How's you guys doing down there?
There's
a lot of football being played down there. A lot of fighting going on. That Shelby Chase game had me wondering because I made that bold prediction last week. That quick went in. They had me in a quandary right there for just a little bit. But they came on in and back in and what game got y'all wondering?
I'm sorry, Will. Kevin was playing with the audio on that, and we missed what you said there at the last.
What game had you guys wondering tonight?
The game that I was really interested in tonight, Will, was East Lincoln and North Lincoln. I thought that was going to be the conference championship game based on the record that both teams had, and whoever came out of that one would be in the prominent position to win that conference maiden aside. But East Lincoln won tonight 40-30 over North Lincoln. So I guess East Lincoln's in the driver's seat when it comes to that conference title there.
I do have one score. It was earlier. It wasn't a final. Pine Lake Prep was up 20-0 at one point over Christ the King. I don't have a final.
I've got the final.
What is it?
Final, Andre. Pine Lake Prep 64-12
Oh.
over Christ the King.
Well, I
And-
picked
and-
Christ the King
Well,
because
yeah, Will Dennis said, we couldn't bet against Christ
Christ
the King.
Yeah. They would excommunicate me
That's
if I did that.
that's a crucifixion right there. Good gosh, 62-14, 64-12. I mean,
Yeah,
That's bad.
64-12, Pine Lake Prep, and they'll host Union Academy this next week, who was beat by Bessemer this past week. So I'm guessing Pine Lake Prep is going to move to 4-0 maybe.
Yeah, well, Shannon
next
said they
week.
had a good quarterback down there. He just didn't tell us how good he was.
Oh, he's real good. You just tell on that.
we've got it. We've got Shannon said the quarterback for Pine Lake Prep passed for 420 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Is that all?
Is that all?
Yeah, he's pretty good. I saw him against Bessemer. He's pretty good.
Hey, Will, did
Yo.
you see that Shelby Chase score, though?
Hey, that was a slot of market like that. I was worried about that game because he was punching South Carolina and they was showing the W was
Well, Shelby, I don't want to say got lucky, but down at the end when Hewitt punted the ball and it rolled down to the 3-yard line, and then it looked like Chase was going to get charged with a safety there, and they got out of it, but they didn't get very far, got off a bad punt. Shelby took the ball inside the 20, and long story, Shelby Phillips goes in for a touchdown. They get the 2 points, and they go up, and the clock just ran out. And I think what we saw tonight was Chase put up a valiant effort against the Lions to turn around that record that they've had, but that they just ran out of steam down towards the end there.
We get the but really everybody who was folded, like people not playing ball, making but I see they making one mistake. Chase team has a lot of smart.
Well, Coach Cognell's up there now, and of course he was familiar with Shelby, their offense, their defense. So it was a situation like, where he played Burns last week. They were, gave him a real close game. And tonight against Shelby, they had a very, very good game against the Shelby High School Golden Lions.
Yeah. Now, let's not forget, this is normally the way it starts. It don't have these bad breaks. And then after that, the first couple of 3 bad games, it's I mean,
Hey, Will.
Will, we're having a little technical problem with your voice being garbled here. Kevin,
It's
he'll
probably
straighten.
we've had some internet issues tonight. They're actually going to put us in some new fiber cables here in a couple of weeks. But Will, you're breaking up just a little bit enough to make it a problem. We're going to run some highlights, and I'm going to recall you back and see if we can get connected. It sounds better, okay? All right,
Sorry,
we'll
Will.
get back to you in just a second. Once again, Tom, let's go over the scores again, and I'm going to try to hook Will up here a little bit.
Okay, it was East Lincoln over North Lincoln, 40-30. Shelby defeats Chase, 47-41. Burns blows out East Rutherford, 54-7. Cherryville earns their first win of the year, 33-12 over Highland Tech. South Point over Kramer, 42-24. RS Central over East Gaston, 56-27. St. Stephen's blanks Bessemer City, 30-0. And Thomas Jefferson defeats Mountain Island Charter, 25-21. Bandy's big over Lincolnton, 52-8. West Lincoln over Newton Conover, 29-17. Crest defeats Ashbrook, 42-6. Excuse me. I got it. Kings Mountain defeats Huss 35-0. It was East Burke moving to 3-0 on the year, 37-6. They win over Patton. Bunker Hill defeats Drone, 44-6. West Caldwell big over West Iredale, 47-15. And Pine Lake Prep big over Christ the King. I guess those guys aren't real religious as they put it on Christ the King that way.
Are you going to tell me they crucified him?
They crucified him. Yes, they
Oh.
did. 64-12. I think they did like a, crucified them upside down. I mean, that's
Well,
really,
Easter
really
is
bad.
coming.
64-12. Jeez. 42-0. The Community School of Davidson defeats Union Academy. Watauga over Hickory 23-6. Alexander Central 53-12 over Freedom. South Caldwell over McDowell 50-0.
And McDowell was undefeated.
They were
too.
undefeated. High Brighton 43-0 over North Rowan.
Well, I'm looking at that Hickory score up there. You know who the principal up there is now.
That would be Robbie Brown.
Yeah, that could explain it.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, he is late of a local charter school that will remain unnamed, but I wish Robbie the best as he re-enters the.
And he was over at Chase Middle.
He was at Chase Middle for a while.
Yeah, but Robbie's a good guy, so we'll let him slide over there.
We'll let him slide. But he's been up at Hickory for a little while. Did he move up there?
No, I think he lives. What's the name of that? Deerbrook. I think he lives over in the Deerbrook area.
So he's got a little drive to work every day.
Yeah, those administrators, they make a little better cash.
Yeah, I guess
than
they can.
Us old classroom history teachers.
Better to cover your costs.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I think he's got the gas covered driving up there to Hickory these days.
23. It's not that. Just the.
Hey, Will. Thanks a little bit better. Now, as soon as we get you on, you start being unprofessional, getting phone calls. Everybody's watching you on the tube.
You got to sell a Kia when you can, Will.
Man, I don't know what the problem is. Having some trouble on that. I may call you on a different computer and just set your audio up and not use your video. So I don't know if it's on your. You're probably got high speed there. Like I said, we've been having a few internet issues here tonight. But give me a second, Will. We're gonna do some highlights, and I may just have to call you back on a different computer and run it that way. Okay. Got you, brother. All right, Tommy. Let's go over here and pull up some highlights that you guys didn't get to see earlier.
Okay.
In Will, you just turn his mic off right there.
Will's
Dennis.
gonna have to stay in Shelby if he wants to be on the show.
I know, right? Well, you know. All right, so here's some highlights for today's action. We're gonna back it all the way up for the night, and then this is what everybody tuned in for scores, highlights, and more. Tune in at What's Up Shopper at KTC Broadcasting on Twitter. Hashtags KTC Scores and KTC Sports. Let's go through tonight's scores. I'm going to get to the first of it here in a little bit, Tommy, at some point. There's a lot of points tonight. A lot of big games, a lot of scores. I mean, 41-47 in the Shelby games out is just crazy, guys.
Yeah, and that made Shelby sweat tonight, too. That's probably the toughest game they've had in a while.
Yep. So, all right, well, let's just get started. We're going to go through the scores, folks. Stay tuned. We're going to have a bunch of scores and highlights here. We got a bunch of 1-yard scores, Dennis, that we went through tonight.
That's all right.
All right, this is East Lincoln first score of the night from 30-some out, pass, going deep down the side, caught the man, and North Lincoln just missed jump there, and East Lincoln scores for the touchdown. That put them up 6-0 here early on in the game. That was Austin Smith, a 35-yard touchdown pass. Now, that was from Tyler Mizell. Chase began the night, folks, for an upstairs alert all around with a 7-0 early lead here against the Shelby Golden Lions as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Like I said, a lot of these are going to be like 1-2 yard dives. This here, they're on the 6. I think they end up going off tackle here.
It's an 88-yard drive to open the game.
Great run up the middle and touchdown for the Chase Trojans. Tom, I think you guys are going to have an outstanding game next week. We'll talk about that. That'll be the big talk of the town this week in Cleveland County. St. Stephen's went up 6-0 over Best City. I'm not going to do too many of those highlights. We've already did them, and that's our team, one of our local teams, getting beat 30-0. So, I mean, St. Stephen's isn't a local team. So, we're going to skip over some of them for that. How about let's do Cherryville and Highland Tech. This is Cherryville going up 14-6 at Highland Tech here, and of course Mr. Dellinger here, there in the corner, was all over the place tonight. Handoff, right side, touchdown. Ironman at the Rams tonight with the victory. They win 33-12. How about a Shelby Golden Lions?
Yeah, I sent that to you.
Oh,
How about a Shelby Golden Lions? Punt return. Here we go. That's what this one was. Now, Tom, controversy on this one. Did he or did he not have his knee touch the ground on the catch?
How about for Chase?
No, for Shelby's punt return right here.
Oh.
Catch. Is he not on the ground right there?
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
For you folks watching online, we're streaming video. Steve was inside the the booth, but to me, it looked like his knee was down. I'm sure though that somebody will have better video of this somewhere. But on their kick return, knee down at the 36, catches it, takes off around the left side. It's big long score, big touchdown here for the Shelby Golden Lions as they win again tonight, 47-41. That was a little controversy earlier. Shelby, then Chase, of course, takes a 14-7 lead. Here's the play we showed earlier with the bubble screen, folks. They're going to throw a bubble screen left and then break a bunch of tackles.
Right down the
middle. They're going to be
middle.
off and running. Like you said, kid threw for 6 touchdowns tonight, though, what Shannon said. Here's one, breaks off right down the middle of the field, right between the hashes, shakes the guy, bounces to the left. Yeah, I mean, he broke 3 or 4 tackles there, Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
And
He did.
You mentioned how good that kid was earlier in the show. This is Cameron Sweezy with a 1-yard touchdown run against East Rutherford.
Well, East is really getting clobbered every game.
Yeah, it's struggling. These 1-yard runs highlights aren't exactly too much to sneeze at there.
That's the first game at Burns of the year. That's the first game at Burns in a long, long time. It's hard to believe the entire year 2020, no home football games for any of these. It's just hard to imagine. It's kind of surreal.
So this is East Lincoln going up 12-0. Tyler Mizell 10-yard pass to Polly Menegay. And if you'll notice, East Lincoln that was a sidearm kind of thing. I think our announcer got excited, and he's doing double duty on that one and turning the camera. Go ahead, Dennis. You about to say something?
No, it reminded me that one pass that you showed earlier of the old days of Surratt to Cameron Dollar down the sideline. It's sort of, is that Deja? Did Kevin get the old video, or is that the new stuff?
How much did North Lincoln lose off that team from last year?
A good bit. Problem you have this year too with the different sports as well, baseball, basketball. So they had like 5 of the basketball players were on the football team, and they missed the first game.
Right. Okay.
This is Bandy scoring from 1 yard out. Like I said, we had a couple of these tonight. Bandy's with a huge win tonight. How about another Cooper Sloan touchdown for Cherville? This is going to kind of look like deja vu here. Ironman scoring on Highland Tech. This is the same run left side, though. Cooper Sloan touchdown left side. Ironman again with a big win. There's the best City score. Nothing there. Bandy's. How about a 74-yard run for Bandy's here? Haven't seen this highlight yet, so folks, you're seeing it just as live as I am here on the postgame show. Let's see what the Trojans do. And just a little pitch right. Some guy's fake left, and he's gone. Cut back up the middle. Looks weird seeing Lincoln with black helmets. I like them. I'm not seeing anything wrong with it, but when I look at that field, I don't see Lincoln. And you're used to those yellow helmets with the L on it, right?
It's been that way ever since.
Shannon said that he thought North Lincoln lost 27 seniors.
Well, that's not a lot. It's only more players than Bessemer has.
Yeah.
Check the roster, Kevin. Check the roster.
But according to NC Preps, that East Lincoln score is a mild upset because East Lincoln not in the top 20, whereas North Lincoln was ranked 15th.
Gee, I got one right. I picked East Lincoln.
Did you?
All right, here's some more scores. How about we got some Crest scores that come across here too. Rob Roop was out doing that game. I want to thank Rob.
Yay, Robbie.
Here's the 89-yard touchdown. One more over at Bandy's. How about this one? As they got missing. little kind of supposed to be off tackle, maybe a end around or something. Ends up going all the way. Safety got caught. 89-yard touchdown run for Bandies. What a nice little play.
You got a West Lincoln touchdown?
Yep. We're going to get to those in just a few moments.
Yeah.
Jason Sane was out of those. I think that was actually what was up next. No, I had a East Lincoln. There's the West Lincoln. Let me scroll back down here and make sure we get everybody in order because I don't want to skip a good one or something. This is a 20-yard pass from West Lincoln with 18 seconds left in the half. Score now 13-6 Newton as we wound down the half. They were down 13-0 at the time. This is a pass. Now, West Lincoln scored twice tonight on passes. That's not usually their forte.
I straight to say, passes, West Lincoln.
Yep.
Yeah, just glad to see them getting a win column. I think they were 0-2 coming into this ball game.
They were.
Yeah, but they were a solid team, but they just hadn't got that W.
Yeah, I mean, their points for, points allowed was 31-26. So the tough loss to Maiden, I believe it was.
So sitting here watching the play, I have no idea what Newton Conover was doing on this play. So what? Just watching it. All right, if you look at the 40-yard line, right above him is the receiver that catches the ball. That's not a defender guarding him to his right, guys. That is a referee. There is actually nobody guarding him on the line of scrimmage. The guy ends up guarding him is the guy to his inside there. Looks like he's in the slot or something. Because watch this. He just takes off, and that guy has to turn and go. Whoop! Ain't nobody there. So, touchdown in the corner for the end zone for the Rebels. They cut that lead 13-6. Let's see. How about this is a 8-yard pass from Tyler Mizell to Lucas McConnell. East Lincoln against North Lincoln. Rolls left, and Cameron missed the pass. But this little girl, I tell you what, she made the highlights. How about that? Did you see that, Tom?
I saw.
Just watch the little girl pop up here.
Future cheerleader right there.
I don't know her name or anything, but she made the highlights.
She's a cutie, though.
At least we got her instead of the if we missed the touchdown. So congratulations to East Lincoln on that. Mizell to Lucas McConnell. You know what'd be really neat, Tom and Dennis, if she was related to one of those two guys. That was Lucas's little sister or Tyler's little sister there.
Probably the coach's daughter.
How about a 25-yard touchdown pass for Crest here? Here's Borders and Fuller. Just deep down the sideline, wheel route. Safety bit hard.
Zippity-doo-dah.
Wow, the corner bit hard on that. He was wide open. I guess was it senior night or something, Dennis? No, that's the band down there on the track. Okay, the band was down on the track there for Crest. Trying to figure out what all those folks were doing there. This is Chase and Shelby, or Chase going to halftime, just a little 1-yard run. We'll skip up over that. East Lincoln. This is them going up 33-23 on a 5-yard run from Menegay. And listening to the announcers, like, this kid wasn't going down tonight. Like, he was just bouncing through folks all night. There's 3 guys that end up trying to make the tackle on that play as he got the score. So, guys, we got undefeateds in the area.
Yeah.
We've got North Lincoln. Crest.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Burns, Maiden, Shelby, East Lincoln, Kings Mountain, Pine Lake Prep.
Well, now, that brings up a question for my colleague, Mr. Centafonte over here. If Shelby's undefeated and Burns is undefeated, Tommy, was it irresistible force meets an immovable object?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I just think that Shelby has got to get some things straight on the defensive side of the ball, especially stopping the run. I mean, they just might have had a bad night tonight, but Chase was able to run the ball. Chase was able to do a lot of things offensively. Now, against Burns, they moved the ball, not the way they did against Shelby. But Shelby still has those explosive players. The little freshman kid, I forget his name, he says the fastest kid in the school. He's a freshman. He had a couple of touchdowns tonight. One was on a punt return, another one on a long touchdown. So Burns is going to have to account for him, know where he is, and keep him in front. I think that Burns is capable of doing a ball control game, and if I am Burns, that's exactly what I want to do because Shelby still has the game breakers. control the game, use the running game, grind this thing out, and they were able to wear down that Chase defense. Today you really can't get a whole lot of read off when you play East Rutherford. Everybody's blowing them out. But I think Shelby is vulnerable. I think, the top end athletes at Shelby probably, the best around. But Burns has been a solid team on both sides of the ball. And, they've been battle tested. They were battle tested at Belmont with that, tough game against South Point, and tough game against Chase, who gave Shelby a very tough game tonight. So I think both teams will be ready. I think it will be a good ball game. I just think it's going to come down to who gets the most explosive plays, who doesn't turn the ball over, and something that's bit Shelby a little bit is penalties. They had they've had some penalties in their game. So who makes the fewest penalties? So both coaches are going to work real hard to get their teams ready for next week, and then we'll see. I think they're pretty evenly matched, Dennis.
Well, I'm going to make my prediction, but I got to consult with Kevin first to see how many people are on the Burns roster and how many people are on the Shelby roster, so I'll know who to pick.
Burns' numbers are actually up. I want to say they have 85 or so in the program, which is good. I don't know how many Shelby's got. Now, the Shelby middle school team is very good, Dennis. I saw them last Saturday.
And they got some beef up front, I think.
Right.
And I think that could be part of Shelby's, I don't want to say problem this year, but they've not got the lineman quality caliber that they've had in the recent couple of championship teams.
And the ability, they've shown off and on, like when I was listening to that game and watching a little bit of it, that off and on, like sometimes they were very good against the run, and then sometimes they gave up some long runs. So they just got to be consistent in stopping the run. And if I'm Burns, that's my game plan. I want to run the ball. I want to control the ball. I want to keep it out of Shelby's playmakers and shorten the game a little bit. And I think that's to Burns' advantage. Now, will they be able to do that? We'll see. Both coaches are going to make adjustments. Well, Burns, no trouble tonight with East Rutherford, 54-7, so just a tune-up for them. Looks like both teams are coming in healthy. I don't think either team has any significant injuries. So we'll see. It's going to be a tough matchup. I think both teams know it's going to be a tough matchup. That this one can go either way.
Well, Shelby is the more, I would say, running team this year than they have been. That's been Air Shelby the last
with
few.
Phillips, with Phillips.
But Burns has been more of a passing team. So you tell Cameron just hand it off or run it, don't throw it, or do you surprise them every now and then with that little?
They could throw it a little bit, and the new wrinkle this year, what I've seen in some of their stats, I have to look at the stats tonight, is Cameron keeping the ball a little bit more than he traditionally has.
Yeah,
and that adds a little bit of a wrinkle there because now you have to account for him. As long as you got to, and they did a little bit of that with Pryor towards the end of the season last year. That if you have to account for that quarterback, it makes it harder to play defense. If you know that the running back's going to get it on a run play, it gets a little simpler. But Cameron can hurt you with his legs, as Kevin said, that he seems to glide on the field. I think he's deceptively a little faster than people give him credit for. He can throw the deep ball, throws the deep ball very well. Intermediate passing game against Chase, I think he could have improved his game. I didn't see what he did tonight. I'll have to, look at the stat sheet and talk to the coaches. But at the same time, any of these, and I saw the same thing with Hampton for Chase. It just seemed like there was a couple times where they could have completed a pass and it was just off just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have those traditional reps in your summer workouts and
timing.
Everybody's coming and the timing and, kids are in schools, kids are out of school. Their sleep schedules are screwed up. Their body clocks are screwed up. There's a lot of
is it all?
It's just a lot of things. There's a lot of things that these coaches have to overcome, and you can tell that sometimes it's just a hair off to where it traditionally is.
Well, I know that we used to run the veer, Tom, and that was the big thing when you got working with my quarterbacks and my halfbacks, getting them out there and making that defensive end. There was a split second there when you had to decide, do I keep it or do I pitch it?
Yeah.
And that comes with experience and reading it. Now, Cameron has got the experience. This year, he's probably better at making that decision. Do I just keep the ball and run, or do I just give that little dump pass? Or wait a minute, there's a guy on the other side of the field that's wide open. And so he can make that because he's a senior and he's had some experience, where Hewitt is coming in to, even though he's had some experience, to a new offense on a new team. His people are not as, familiar with him.
But he's able to keep the ball and run it too. I mean, he's a good athlete. The thing that the teams do, though, you don't see that speed option anymore. Like, they don't want to risk that pitch play. You almost never. But what always makes me nervous is when that ball's in the running back's belly. There you have to read it, and they really do have to be on the same page, or that ball's going to be on the ground. And it takes a lot more practice than people realize, because the guys that have done it a while make it look easy.
Yeah, but it's a feel,
Yes.
and you're standing on the sidelines coaching these guys, and you don't know if he actually pulled the ball back and kept it, or
But you're right. He's got to read the defensive end. You got to read that defensive end, and then sometimes you just got to beat him. I mean, it's a cat and mouse game. Reading what he does, and I've seen the really skilled defensive ends.
Yeah.
Really know how to break down and shut that down. I mean, so.
And if you decide to keep it, you're pancaked.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are really. I mean, it's a fine art, and it sounds so simple. Okay, if he crashes, I'm going to keep it. If he stays out wide, I'm gonna give it to the guy in the middle. But it sounds so simple, but it could be a lot more complicated than that. And if done well, you can really keep the defense off balance.
Yeah,
and that's something.
I think my point was, I think that's the key for Burns next week, based on what I've seen with Shelby, is can you, I want to say trick them, but can you make them misread what the play is and turn it up or turn it in or turn it down and get that.
And what else I might do is just clear things out and just have quarterback run. The reason why I like that is it looked like Chase did that a few times with Hampton and with some success in the interior. Yeah. But when you have a designed quarterback run, I mean, you have an extra blocker. The quarterback's not taking himself out of the play. So if that was successful with Chase, I think that's something else that Coach Devine and his offensive staff may look at. We may just go with a quarterback run, a quarterback draw.
I am sure that somewhere about tomorrow that Coach Devine's going to go, "Hey, Coach Cog, what can you tell me about that game last night?"
Yeah, I'm sure. But there's so much film out there, Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when I played, I can still remember you traded tapes. You had Coach A for your team meet Coach B from their team.
Yeah, halfway,
and you traded tapes. And a lot of times, the Coach Stewarts, they might edit those tapes a little bit so you didn't
Surely
see
not.
everything.
Mike would not do that.
But there's so much film out there. There's really no secrets out there. Everybody's got everybody else on film. So I think back in the day, you'd be more likely to say, "Hey, what do they got?" But now there's so much film out there. I think that, a lot of these, to be a high school football coach these days, you just have to be a film junkie, man. You just have to watch a lot of film and identify those tendencies. And some people are really good at it. So,
to be a high school player now, Tom,
and they do it too.
That's what you got to do. That's the difference, I think, in the period of time that you played. And, that was a while back. I won't say how much.
It's been a while.
But the availability
quarter
of
a century.
More than that.
Yeah.
We've got 2 callers.
Really?
And I don't know if I hit all the buttons right, but we're going to try this.
All right.
I'm going to hit a couple buttons, and then we're going to go. So we're going to mute these.
Okay.
Hit that.
All right.
Turn this off.
Linebacker or somebody, they're watching that film because the coaches have taught them how to break down film themselves, and they can get on YouTube and watch the opposing team.
Yeah.
They can watch their own play and say, oh, I see where I did this, and I should have done that.
Yeah, and sometimes you put in a new wrinkle. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago when Coach Beaver put in some plays for Sweezy to be up under center and run a little blast play that they haven't really run a lot. You know, that gives, wait, what are you doing? You know, I mean, when you watch a team, it's always in the shotgun and maybe 3 or 4 wide receivers, and then they put in some extra tight ends. Or what Burns likes to do, Dennis, is they have 2 big guys, Silas Tate and Dorian Starnes.
Yeah.
And they like to run, I don't even really know what you would call it, but it's like a double H-back. Okay, they're not on the line like a tight end, but you watch those guys move. And I tell you, I mean, they both.
Can you guys hear me?
Dorian's probably about 220.
I can hear you now, Kevin.
You got me, Tom?
Yeah, I got you.
All right,
And
Robbie, are you there?
I'm here.
Do y'all got Robbie?
Robbie Roop.
Yeah, do y'all have
Robbie
Robbie?
Roop.
Okay.
All right, now, do you hear Will Boykins?
I'm here.
Yeah, I hear him.
Yeah.
All right, so somehow I managed to do something right, and I got both of them on the line. So Robbie's on the phone. Will's sitting in the hotel. We're going to deal with Robbie first. I don't want to hit any more buttons, Will. You just chill.
I was just going to let Robbie interview Will and Tom.
Well, yeah, they could do that too, I guess. Well, Robbie, welcome to the postgame show.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Another big night for Cleveland County, staying undefeated.
Well, I tell you what, Robbie, you keep running it real well over there. Tell me now, the young Mr. Root, did he get into the game tonight and play some?
Well, I tell you what, guys, I've come to the realization that R.J. Roop has now played in 3 varsity football games, and Chris Haskell's won all 3. So I don't know if that's a sign or what that is, but Chris has won every game he's played in.
He's got the same record as Willie Green.
That's exactly right.
Hey, Robbie, just watching that game, you know, Crest looks like it never was in doubt. I know this is a good victory for Crest, but how down is the Ashbrook program? I haven't been able to see them too much. I hear their numbers are down, and they're struggling. Not typically like an Ashbrook program has in some of the more recent years, but they just seem to really be struggling this year.
Well, guys, and again, you don't want to throw coaching under the bus. You know those coaches are working hard, trying to do everything they can. But just like tonight, when you look down on that field, Ashbrook looks like a juggernaut. I mean, they've got size. You see athletes, and they actually had a good many players because they're not fielding the JV team this year. So those JV kids were with them as well. But I believe I counted 4 delayed game penalties. You know, little things like that you've got to eliminate if you're playing good football teams. And so that was what was kind of shocking. You know, they got to get those things cleaned up. And, again, you look at another situation, guys. Last year, the last season we played, they were trying to run that South Point-style offense. They've gone to a spread this year. So those kids are having to learn another offense as well. So I think it's a little bit of both, Tom, maybe down a little bit, but, again, trying to install a new system.
Yeah, Brian Andrews was the coach there, and I believe he had to leave because of health concerns.
Right.
And he came over there from South Point, so it wouldn't surprise me that he would try to instill you see it over at North Gaston when, some of the South Point guys go over there, they put in a version of the red bone, as they call it at South Point. But, they definitely, their kids are having to overcome a lot. And I know it's a large school. It's a proud school. They've had some good teams in the past. And just to see them struggle like that, I just hope their program can get turned around. But it's a good job by the Chargers. I saw them a couple weeks ago against Forest View. I was impressed with them defensively, Robbie. I thought they, you were there. I thought they played pretty good defense against. It looks like they played pretty good defense tonight, holding Ashbrook to only 6 points.
It was interesting. I was talking to some folks at halftime, and we were talking about a player like Eli Hall, and we're used to seeing Eli from football season before basketball season starts. Well, this year he comes in after basketball season. You can tell Eli slimmed down a little bit because he's coming out of basketball shape, and I think that may have benefited him even more. He's looking a little quicker to the football, so that was exciting to see. And if you're a Crest fan, the emergence of Carter Green tonight was huge. Young man had the fumble return for a touchdown. He had an interception, had some great catches at wide receiver. Of course, he's the younger brother. A lot of Crest fans remember Michael Green, who was just a speedster and played baseball. But Carter tonight just had an outstanding game. And again, the Chargers put 48 points on the board, and T.J. Ruff hardly touched the football. Because I know going into this game, I said, well, what do you do with that T.J.? And I think, from what I understand, the decision tonight to give him a little bit of a rest because, T.J.'s been working hard, and you got a big game against Hunter Huss next week. So the Chargers are to put that many points on the board without T.J. Ruff really having to do what he's done the last few weeks.
Well, Robbie, you have been around Crest football for ages. I won't make you that old, but traditionally, for some reason, when we play Ashbrook, it doesn't matter what the record is. They've always played Crest tooth and nail, down to the wire and made it tough to come out of there with a win. What do you think the difference was? You talked about the new offense, the new coaching. Is it just a matter of transitioning to it, or does Ashbrook have that thing where we talked about in the pregame show where, like Chase, you got to believe you can win. Like the little train, I think I can. And Ashbrook hasn't gotten over that hump with Crest yet to think they can win.
Well, and I tell you, Dennis, and I know, like you said, longtime Crest guy, I'll be honest, it's a pretty dang good Crest team.
Yeah.
You're looking at a squad now. This was a group that a lot of people pointed to as they were coming up through the elementary ranks, middle school, JV. They've always won championships. And that group is juniors and seniors now. And so you kind of look back to those teams, and to me it happens with every program. Yeah. You go back and find those teams that are successful in our area at that age and follow them up through the ranks. And that's what this Crest team is now. So, again, not to take anything away from Ashbrook, I think they played hard, and again, they've got some things they need to work on, but I don't think we can take anything away from Crest either. And this team's pretty talented this year for Coach Nick Eddings as well.
Well, you can go back to the days of the number 3 Rams, the Springmore Bulldogs, and you can do exactly what you said, Robbie. You can see the trend is coming, and especially by the time they reach the middle schools. The scary part of that is that you look at Shelby Middle School right now, and they seem to have a group coming through that will make that Lion offensive, defensive lines a little tougher to play with. So maybe Shelby turns it out again in a couple of years when those guys get up to playing.
Well, here's another stat, Dennis, and I think I'm correct on this. Remember, too, the last time we played, had a season, going into the playoffs, the only games Cleveland County lost was to each other.
Yeah.
But look, I think so far this year, if I'm not mistaken, the only games that have been lost in this county between middle school, JV, and high school has been games lost to each other. And I think we're going to continue to see that as we progress through this season. We may, again, comes down to that, of course, that big game next week, Shelby and Burns. The loser of that game, I believe that's the only game they lose in the regular season. And I truly believe we're looking at Kings Mountain and Crest, and that game being the only game either one of those two teams lose in the regular season.
Well, that's a pretty good prediction, Robbie, and I think.
But don't forget, Burns and Crest play each other later on this season, Robbie.
Well, that's only a county loss, so that'll be okay too.
Yeah, They play late. A lot of people, because of the non-conference, got a little messed up this year. I want to say that's week 6 that Crest will play Burns.
And guys, to give you an interesting schedule quirk and what's happened, of course, Crest plays Hunter Huss this Friday. They play North Gaston next Saturday, the Saturday after that, and I believe that may be a 12 noon kickoff. The reason being, North Gaston, of course, had to go into COVID protocol.
Right.
From what I understand, North Gaston's going to have to play 3 games in 8 days. And I believe in those 8 days, they play Kings Mountain on a Wednesday and turn around and play Crest on a Saturday. That is a brutal turnaround for that North Gaston squad.
Yes, it is. And they struggled a little bit in their only game this year. They were blanked by Hunter Huss 24-0, who was blanked by Kings Mountain 35-0. So that's going to be a tough stretch for those young men.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, guys, let me get off here. I know you got Will to talk to, and you guys are doing an awesome job. Kevin, I've heard some people, they love the red zone concept, but they love seeing the highlights. So we're just going to keep doing what we do at KTC and make sure we represent these young people because they, without a doubt, deserve our coverage.
Thank you, Robbie. We appreciate it, and good luck to Mr. Roop over there, Junior. I think he's going to get plenty of playing time this year.
And I'll tell you guys, hopefully the trend continues. Every game RJ Roop gets in leads to a crisp victory. I'll talk to you later, guys.
Game.
All right, see you now.
Thank you, Robbie. Tommy.
Yes, sir.
Back to that Shelby-Burns game next week. You just talked about how important this game is.
Hey, let's check. Will, you there?
Oh.
I am here.
I can hear it.
Hey, we got you pretty good in now, Will. No, we don't got your face, but America's probably happy about that. But we got you live and clear in audio.
We good with just the audio. I'm like Dennis on this Burns and Shelby game. I think that's going to be a big game. That's the conference championship game right there for that conference. The game against Burns have later on against Chris will not affect them far as the conference go or either in the playoffs either. So I think that's a big game right there.
Will, before I inquire with Tom what he sees going on, what's your thoughts on that Burns and Shelby game?
I think it's going to be a really good game. From what I've seen so far, both of them this season, and that's just watching film that Facebook Live. I haven't got to see any of them up close and live, but Burns plays really good on defense. They kind of run a similar, but not as similar 3-3 that Chris runs. They'll drop 4 down, where Chris is steady in that 3-3. But it works to an extent to where their defense is. They had to come out of it a little bit against South Point. They had to drop some people down and come out of that and go into more of a 50 base when they played South Point, which they gave them the win. But I do like Burns' defense. But at the same time, Shelby's offense is explosive. I mean, they got playmakers on either end of the field. Like either wide out is a playmaker, either running back is a playmaker. So I think it's going to be a good contest. I'm real anxious to see that next week.
All right, Tom. Will has set you up here for the expert commentary on this game.
Well, like I've been saying, like I was saying before we started talking to Robbie, like Burns has one where they've got a couple of good size H-backs. That would be Starnes and Silas Tate, where they like to do some power running. And I think that if they can utilize their power run game, control the clock, control the ball, I think that's key. Because Shelby still has the game breakers that, Phillips. And they said the kid's name tonight. Well, the freshman kid for Shelby, that's fastest guy on the team. I can't remember his name to save my life. Had a couple touchdowns, ran back a kickoff, and also had a long touchdown. Maybe somebody will text me. Maybe Shannon could text me that kid's name. But they're going to have to keep him in front of him because he could take it the distance anytime he touches the football. So he's going to be the best athlete on the field next week. So you got to know where he is. You got to account for him. You got to keep him in front of you. And I think if Burns can minimize the big plays, executing special teams, which they've had some issues in special teams, with some kicking some field goals and such. So hopefully that if they can execute and not make mistakes, no penalties, turnover battle is going to be important, Will. Whenever you got an evenly matched game, you got to take care of the football, and then it may come down to who makes the fewest mistakes.
All right. Tom, I won't ask you to make a prediction since you're broadcasting the game.
Thank you.
I noticed on the NFL Network, the guys that are working the game.
They don't make a prediction.
They don't make a prediction, and I'm going to make a prediction, but it'll be on the pregame show next week. So tune in the Witherspoon pregame show next week for my prediction. But Will, you're live and in person here tonight, via computer, that is. So give us your prediction on the Burns-Shelby game. I saw you chuckle. I can't hear him, Kevin.
I can't hear him. Should turn the Carolina game down a little bit. It's confusing me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and there he goes. Kevin's now I got your audio.
Okay, so I think that Burns and Shelby game I think that's probably that's going to be probably one of the best games that either one of those teams played this. I mean, all the way up to state championship. That's going to be one of the hardest fought games they play all
conference championship game.
Yes. With that being said, I haven't seen either one of the. Normally I have been to some practices at all the schools. I've seen all 4 county schools practice. I've seen, what they run. I've seen them play live. I haven't been able to sit down and go see anybody practice. For me to predict this game, I got two games that I've looked at to go off of, to make my prediction. And I just don't have enough information. I'm not stepping out in the water. It's going to be a good game.
I can respect that, Will. And that's the problem we've run into on the pregame. Like I predicted Bessemer City to beat St. Stephen's tonight, and St. Stephen's beat them 30-0. So, I mean, it's a crazy year. And sometimes you just throw something out there based on nothing, pull from air, whatever. But I think this game next week is going to be a slobber knocker, as Lewis used to say when he was with us. And I don't know. I think this game is going to be a lot similar to the Shelby Chase game. I don't think you'll know who's going to win this one until right at the end of the game. It's going to be close.
I actually think it's probably going to be better. That was an exciting game tonight.
Yeah.
But Shelby got out of the block slow.
Yeah.
This is their 4th game coming in. I think it'll be their 4th game going in this week? It's the 3rd or the 4th. This week will be the 4th game going in, right?
Yeah, coming up.
So this is usually when Shelby makes that turn. Overall football, their special teams get better. Their defense get better, and their offense start playing something stupid. So they start putting up ginormous numbers and all that stuff. It has been, their first 3 games have been, where they didn't get together, and then the 4th game on is when they turned it on for the season. So I'd like to see. It's going to be a good game. I think Burns is like. I didn't expect Burns to be where they are now, losing as much as they lost. Not just losing prior, but losing as much. The defensive side, offensive side, for your linemen and things that they lost, they had to replace. It wasn't the number. It was what they graduated, not lost. They graduated those kids. It wasn't the number that they lost. It was what those kids brought to the table for the team. So it's good to see them bounce back and get everything on the right road. That South Point game kind of sold it for me. I knew it was going to be Shelby and Burns 1 and 2 in that conference.
Well, with Shelby's program, exactly that. It's a program, Will, and year in and year out, you can always count on Shelby to be up near the leadership in whatever conference they're in whatever league they're in. I think we're beginning to see that with Burns. I think Coach Devine has built a program so it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but not as much if you graduate and lose a lot of kids, because you've built that system, and those kids at the JV level and at the middle school level and at the young Pop Warner level have begun to grasp what it is you're doing at the high school level. And that's the difference between, a winning season every now and then and a consistent winner. And I think what we're seeing now is Burns has established themselves as a consistent winner. And Tom, you don't have to comment on that because you're the announcer, so I won't make you stick your neck out.
He was trying to stay away from that at all costs.
All right, guys, we got to take a quick break, and we're going to come back in just a few minutes and do some more scores and time for some more highlights on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Bowling Springs Carpet and Tile wishes all the Cleveland County football teams the best of luck this season. Bowling Springs Carpet and Tile is your full-service flooring center with a great selection of quality brands. Flooring by Mannington, Thermocore, XL, Permastone, and new waterproof Mohawk Rev Wood. Carpeting by Mohawk, Shaw, and Southwind. Hardwood flooring by Somerset and Shaw, and luxury waterproof vinyl plank and tile. Check them out at 137 North Main Street, Bowling Springs. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5:30, Saturday, 10 to 1. Or by appointment, 704-434-9019.
Has life's little surprises got you feeling small? Come just around the corner to Bridges Hardware in Kings Mountain, where your problem becomes their problem. Their trained customer service associates can help you take care of all your hardware needs. Bridges Hardware, located at the corner of King and Chancellor Streets in Kings Mountain. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Give them a call at 704-739-5461. That's Bridges Hardware at the corner of King and Chancellor Streets in Kings Mountain. Dellinger's Jewel Shop in Kings Mountain is a fourth-generation, family-owned, 131-year-old business that has consistently supported the Kings Mountain community and high school sports. Dellinger's offers quality diamonds, gold and silver jewelry, custom jewelry, and jewelry repair, and great gift items and free gift wrapping. And they offer a sale price every day. So remember them for that special gift. Looking for that perfect engagement ring? They have a great selection of preset rings and loose diamonds. They're the place to go for better diamonds at a better price. Dellinger's Jewel Shop, 112 West Mountain Street, Kings Mountain. Call 704-739-8031.
The J. Morgan Company is proud of our Cleveland County high schools, Burns, Crest, Kings Mountain, and Shelby, and wishes all of our local high school athletes good luck. Whether it be football, cross country, tennis, soccer, basketball, volleyball, swimming, wrestling, track, golf, softball, or baseball, best wishes for a good season. Take the discipline, integrity, sportsmanship, and winning spirit you learn participating in your sport and use this to be successful and happy for the rest of your life. And fans, go out and support these student athletes by being in attendance at their games.
Just in Time Plumbing wishes Cleveland County high school football teams the best of luck this season. Family owned and operated, serving Cleveland and Gaston counties. They handle bathtub and vanity installation, new home construction plumbing, commercial sinks, Renai tankless water heaters, water line repairs, unclogging drains, gas piping, and more. And they offer project financing. Their licensed service professionals provide first-class service on time, on budget, 24/7. Call 704-600-8350 for your free estimates. Just in time plumbing every time. 107 South City Street, Kings Mountain.
I'm your phone. Stuck down here between your seat and your console? Playing a little hide and seek.
Cold.
Boiling.
Jackpot. And if you've got cut rate car insurance, you could be picking up these charges yourself.
So get Allstate, where agents help keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Your local Allstate agent is Damon Scott. Give him a call at 704-484-3463. Bugs, beware the web. The Neeline Coal Termite and Pest Control web, that is. There's got to be a reason Neeline Coal Termite and Pest Control has been voted the best pest control service in our area every year since 2010. They bring 50 years of experience from residential to commercial. They also do moisture control along with waterproofing, new construction treatments, mold and mildew remediation, plus fire and mosquito control. For a free estimate, call 866-990-0004 or visit the website at carolinapestcontrol.com. Neeline Coal Termite and Pest Control, 201 North Main Street in Bowling Springs. Sometimes the cheapest auto body shop turns out to be the most and women a whole lot bigger. They have just purchased MS Powersports in Gastonia and are now your dealer for Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, along with CF Moto, Yamaha, and Polaris. Golf carts, too. One big dealer under one big roof, plus a complete parts and service department. That's Full Throttle Powersports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
And good evening and welcome back to the ncfullthrottlepowersports.com post-game show. Full Throttle Powersports of Lowell, North Carolina. Get over there and check them out today. They got anything and everything you need, four-wheelers, jet skis, UTVs, motorcycles, and all. We got scores. We got highlights, and more. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here on the Full Throttle Powersports post-game show live on YouTube. We're just live on YouTube tonight, folks, because with no radio, because you know what? Tar Heels are on. And guess what? Tar Heels just got beat. So 69-66, Tar Heels win and are eliminated from the ACC tournament. And can you guys hear me in there?
Yeah.
All right. So I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, Dennis, maybe a little bit with you while Shannon was here. But I did just mention to Will, Tom, you know, it's not a coincidence that for the first time in 21 years, Appalachian State's in the playoffs and Duke quits.
Go out.
Coach K quit when he saw the Mountaineers win the SoCon. We're out. And, Tom, if you remember last Saturday, Hunter looked right at me and said, what is Duke going to do this weekend, if coming to the NCAA tournament? Are they going to play in the NIT? And my response was no, because they will have Corona. I said those exact words Saturday, predicted it.
What happened to Duke?
And they're out for the year. They've got
not only Duke, Virginia too.
Virginia, they all quit when the Appalachian won. Ain't that right, Will? Will's back in the house. What's up, boss?
Duke University.
Hey man, that's what Kevin just said. They scared of Appalachian.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
App's going to be a 15 or 16 seed.
Yeah.
We want Michigan. Yeah, baby.
No, you don't want nothing to do with Michigan.
You don't want no part of Michigan.
We want every bit of to do with Michigan because somebody's going to slide their feet. Somebody's going to slide their foot about 25 feet, then call a timeout he don't have, and we'll just win the ball game.
And we don't want Ohio State either.
Well, Ohio State.
We want them too. Bring on the Mountaineers. We want them too. I mean, the Buckeyes.
They beat Purdue today, but they've been struggling.
Yeah. Adrian Delph is averaging 12.9 a game. He's second leading scorer on the team. The leading scorer is with 13.0, so he's just a 1.1 behind him. He had 22 in the SoCon final. The leading scorer had 32, so they combined for 54, just two guys for the Mountaineers.
Kevin, the Graham kid that plays for the Hornets that played at Kansas, originally signed with, guess who?
Charlotte.
Nope, Appalachian.
Did he?
Yep. But he decided to give up Appalachian to go to Kansas.
See, App's in one of those conferences that only one team comes from.
Yep.
So when you have two good teams, somebody ends up getting screwed. We had some pretty good teams there but I tell you what, Will, you'll know who I'm talking about. Who was at Western Carolina when I was a freshman. You remember Kevin Martin? Oh my goodness, he might have put up 90 on us. I don't know. He that dude. I remember watching. He was like, oh my God, he's good. And then he got drafted and is one of the best shooters in the NBA for quite a few years. As ugly as a shot he had, but Kevin Martin, yeah, he went to Western Carolina, and I got to see him in person up there, play the Mountaineers. And we had some good teams. That was like with the the Steph Curry teams. Like,
yeah,
they could go 27-1 and lose the conference tournament. And not in. Those teams I feel bad for.
Kevin, I hate
sometimes.
to tell you this, but when I was at Appalachian, Bob Blight was the coach. And quite frankly, we had an intramural team that could beat we were 16-0.
Your intramural team?
And we could beat the varsity.
Now, I won't lie. I did play a pickup game on a team, and we beat the varsity. Most of the varsity guys.
I like how you fixed that.
well, it's a pickup. It's 5-on-5, so they don't have like all 12 over there. But I did get Hot Wheel, and me and the leading scorer on their team, we both hit like 6 threes in the game, and the other guys were the, I guess, difference makers. But when my roommate, he never forgets it because he was amazing, because that dude was awesome. And I just got hot. We just went boom, 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 threes back and forth of each other. But yeah, they had a little more height than we did, but they didn't bring the 7-footers in there for the pickup game. We beat the guards. We didn't beat the big men. Them guards didn't want none. I'm out here talking junk to a guy that averages 27 a game, Will. You can't check me on the pickup court in the weight room gym on the plastic floor. I'm sure he really cared about that smack talk.
Meanwhile, back at the football postgame show.
Hey, Appalachian, baby. Appalachian. How about that? All right. Go ahead. Y'all can do the scores.
We're going to run
for
the
tonight's
scores,
local games.
And since we have a professional announcer with us tonight, Mr. Cinefani, the Italian stallion.
Boy.
All right, so it's
Italian
East Lincoln
style.
over North Lincoln, 40-30. Shelby over Chase, 47-41. Burns over East Rutherford, 54-7. And Cherryville gets their first one of the year, 32-12 over Highland Tech. It's South Point over Kramer, 42-24. RS Central defeats East Gaston, 56-27. Bandy's big over Lincoln, 52-8. And West Lincoln, a winner tonight, their first one of the year over Newton Conover, 27-19. Crest defeats Ashbrook 42-6. Kings Mountain over Huss 35-0. Thomas Jefferson defeats Mountain Island Charter 25-21. St. Stephen's blanks the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. Sorry, fellas, 30-0. And RS Central over East Gaston 56-27.
I don't know. There I am.
There
All
you
right,
are.
Will, I had to walk out of the room, so I can't see. You got me in there?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, we're going to do some highlights real quick and run down some of the ones that we've missed so far, some of the big ones. This is Jones with a 74-yard run for Bandies. And, it seems like Bandies got missing all night. I got to link it in. I got their score up next, their only score of the game. There's the pitch right out to the side. I think I've already did this one. Yeah, we did this one earlier. Kid with a nice run, 74-yard touchdown run for Bandies in their win. How about a Fuller to Borders with a touchdown pass? This is West Lincoln. You was talking about the passing guys earlier. Here's another touchdown pass from West Lincoln against Newton Conover tonight. Rolling right. This was the run. Sorry, got mixed up. This is the run off left side. They did throw another pass. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes in their wins. They had 2 touchdown passes in their win tonight. This is Polly Minigay with a 70-yard touchdown run for the East Lincoln Mustangs. And here I am pulling these up, and I haven't not sitting there showing it for the folks at home. Sorry about that. All right, here's Minigay's 70-yard run, if the cameraman can find him. Well, you remember me saying something a few minutes ago, Dennis, about this guy? They said they couldn't tackle him all night on the radio. So we're going to watch him, folks. Look at the 40-yard line all the way up there, and then when we get there to the top, there he goes. Guy drugs at him. He shook him off. And then he was off to the races. So Minigay, tough to bring down for the Mustangs in their win tonight. So I heard a bunch of comments on that. Boy, did everybody for Burns score tonight, Tom?
Well, I didn't really get to keep up with that one. You might want to tell our listeners if it's WAGY. Now, I noticed at KTC Broadcasting, I didn't see the Waggy station on there. So if you're out of the area, how do you listen to WAGY?
Well, it is on there. I'll pull it up for the folks.
Okay.
Folks real quick can watch it. So our audio player doesn't have that particular on there. So to listen on the radio is 107.5 FM, 1320 AM. If you folks here watching on YouTube, I'm going to show you how to do it. Click on the big green button. That'll bring up the 3-station player. But right over here to the right here at the top of the page says Waggy. Just click that.
Okay.
And it brings it up immediately. You can just listen right there.
Okay.
So at the top of the page. Also, during game week, Tom, I put the games here at the top of the page. If you go to kdcbroadcasting.com, folks, I'll put it up in the slideshow. You can click on the logo. So if it's whoever East Rutherford's playing right there, you can click on that and pull it up like that at home and get straight to the games. All the links there at the top of the page, even to the ACC tournament that is slowly winding down. Here's Lincoln's touchdown. Finger with a touchdown for the Wolves. Shotgun snap off left side, little crossbuck action for the touchdown. and the Wolves got on the board for one score. Some guy on the front row was excited. He threw his arms up there. The score at that point,
that's the only
Tom, was
thing
38-8.
Yeah. They just got trounced.
Let's see if I don't think Steve did it, but this is where Shelby scored and went for two and then didn't get it, as the Chase stopped him on the 2-point conversion. So this is the Chase Trojans 2-point conversion stop as it goes out of focus just a little bit there through the window. So Chase, when that happened, guys, we were sitting here listening all night. It might happen. It might happen. And they just couldn't pull it off tonight. Another 1-yard run. I'm not showing that one.
Shelby did not have the ball and the lead at the same time until the fourth quarter. That's how close Chase came this year.
Here is that touchdown pass, I think, Tom. Let's see. Yep, West Lincoln, deep corner pass right in our face. Beautiful pass. Way to be there, Jason Saint. How about there on the camera
good
work, Tom? He even chose the right side of the field. Like, they could have threw it to the right side, and we'd have been on the other side of the field. It comes right at us, little wheel route, and threw it right over the DB's head. DB's got to do a better job on that. I'm sure they'll talk about that in film study. Yeah.
Note to players, if you want to get on the highlights, run towards the camera.
I mean, he just didn't. He didn't even put his arm. He didn't never look back for the football.
He never backpedaled. He's staring at the quarterback, and then when he threw it, he turned his back, and then touchdown.
He never looked back for the football.
Yeah. So that was West Lincoln scoring. They're in their gray pants and red shirts tonight. Touchdown, East Rutherford. How about we get to the Cavs touchdown on the board? How about that on the show? From way downtown, 60-some yards, 2 steps. Safety just ran right by him wide open. Holy open, Tom.
Yeah, that was poor defense. But, it's probably some young men getting some experience. So
Dennis, we saw quite a bit of this tonight.
Did you see with that? He came up and took the guy in the flat, and nobody picked up the guy going deep.
Both guys went flats on it. So I'm watching the safety.
No, look. He's going to come up and go the flat, and one of the safeties should have picked him up,
right.
And nobody picks him up.
So corners got flats here. Safeties, I'm guessing they're playing cover too. Like Tom's saying, if you watch the corner, he squats and comes up on the out route. When he does that, safety's supposed to come over the top of that guy running right by him, and
he never did. Yep.
Now, it's in a game 54-7. That don't matter. But I guarantee Shelby's going to look at that play.
Oh yeah.
This week, and
depends on who's in the game,
and look at that safety.
Who is in the game?
Let's run right at that.
Yeah,
it
might not have been, but it might have been a young man getting some experience.
You are right. It was quite a big lead at that point. Is that what you're saying, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you never know.
All right. Final score over at Bandy scores 52-8. See if we can get any more highlights. West Lincoln. Ashler scored. Oh, that was the same score a minute ago. We want to thank all of our tweeters for going out in the elements as usual, as always. Tonight,
was it beautiful that night tonight?
Next week they might have a little trouble. Beautiful night tonight, like Tom said. Now, what they did, who we had out there at Crest, we heard from Rob Roop a minute ago. Tanner Halbert was out at Kings Mountain. Now, Tom, here's talking of Tanner. He hasn't got any tweets come through because at Kings Mountain, he got no signal. Because I live down there, and I'm telling you, it's awful. As far as the phone companies, they got to get this fixed.
That makes no sense.
To be such a big town and so many people, there is just horrible phone service. And so we're gonna have those in the morning. So I'm gonna bring them in the morning, and we'll have them uploaded. So we'll have Kings Mountain highlights in the morning of their 35-0 victory. So Tanner Halbert was out at that. Rob Rube was at Crest. Jason Saint had West Lincoln at Newton Conover, and Peyton Warlick 52-8. He's a Bandy's alum, so he got to actually see his team win tonight, and that might be the only time he gets out there this year to see Bandy's. So, and then Brian Nichols was up at St. Stephen's. So we had 9 people at games tonight. Cherville Highland Tech, Caleb Johnson, Matt Royster out at Burns, Shelby tonight, Steve Degree, of course, and then East Lincoln. Logan. So Logan's doing double duty, Tom. He's commentating and doing the camera. So I told them, don't worry about stats this year. Just take care of this. We'll going forward, we'll adjust. This spring's been a little bit different. You low on bodies over in Lincoln County. So, Yeah, he's doing a good job there. He's 18-year-old. He's a senior at Lincoln, Milton's nephew, and he's done an outstanding job so far for us. And I want to thank him for doing what he does as a young kid that he does. All right, Tommy. Looking at the board, I know Shelby chases the big game tonight. Dennis, we were 0 for 3 on East Lincoln. And Bessemer, but I know that's a little bit different. But the East Lincoln game, we all felt kind of confident that the Knights were going to win tonight.
Well,
I told y'all last week East was going to win this game.
Did
I told y'all last week.
Did you?
Look at the tape. I told y'all last week East was going to win that game.
Oh, Will's just come from all the way from Raleigh talking about look at the tape. Okay. We will. So, East only beat Mountain Island by 1, and that's what I was kind of leaning on that one. And I missed that. So the Mustangs are they your team, or is it the Blue Devils of Maiden this year, Will?
Oh, it's Mustangs. I run with East, and I run with East and the Wolves in that South Fort two-way conference.
Well, Kevin, in the NC Preps power ratings we talked about earlier, Shelby has been number 1 all year. Of course, Burns is number 3, Tommy.
Shelby's number 1 on reputation. I'd like to see what some of these other teams have.
Yeah.
Because they have, Shelby's been taking care of business, but they have looked vulnerable at times.
Well, that was my next question. Do you think they will drop, and how far will they drop based on that 47-41 score?
I don't know. I don't know what Reedsville did. I have to look up and see what some of these other teams are doing.
And could Burns be ranked higher than Shelby going into the Burns-Shelby game?
I think that everybody – I think until Shelby loses, the spot's theirs.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows that Chase had a good team last year. They're 1-2. They're a better team than a 1-2 record. I mean, we all know that. So I don't think so. I think that as long as Shelby continues to win, they're going to stay where they're at. I don't know what Reedsville did. I'm actually going to look it up.
Okay.
Let's see.
Reedsville ain't playing nobody, y'all.
Reedsville's up 42-0 in the fourth quarter.
Of the state. On this east side of the state up here, they don't play no football, man. They don't. The teams that do have power teams, they're the only ones in existence in the whole county. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, 42-0 over Ragsdale. They beat East Surrey.
Say it again.
They beat East Surrey 48-14, and they beat Ragsdale 42-0. So I mean they're rolling some folks, Will. So I mean, and they've got,
but they don't have the number 1 teams blow out everybody.
Yeah, they got
teams on our side of the state have games that are tough. They go through stuff. They have to prove themselves to be number 1. The teams on this side of the state. If you're number 1 on this side of the state, you're just number 1. There's no in between. You don't have to battle for it. You're just number 1.
Well, their next 3 opponents have a combined 1-5 record. 0-2, 0-2, 1-1.
I think that's what Will's pointing out. The competition is in the West. It's not in the East.
Well, there's usually when Shelby has to play Reedsville, and it's usually been good games.
Playoff is a different story.
And High Brighton's up there as well. And I didn't see what High Brighton did tonight. Salisbury's another team I've seen a lot on this list. South Point comes in at number 14. North Lincoln 15. North Lincoln's going to drop probably out of the poll. Maiden at 16. Walkertown and Wallace Rose Hill is usually pretty good. And Croatan, I did not realize we had a Croatan High School in number 19. And Southwest Onslow, who, weren't they in the championship a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so, there's some good teams there. It's going to take a few more weeks to sort itself out, and then the playoffs are going to be really interesting.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, Will, to note, Kings Mountain 7, Crest is 8. They started out 5-6. They're undefeated. They keep winning and they keep dropping.
Yeah.
And I think you'd have to ask Chris Hughes why, but Chris has a tendency to put those Eastern teams higher based on what you're talking about. They're blowing out people, but they're blowing out, You know,
Like, it's simple. Like the 85 corridor is where all the football is played. That 85 corridor, the 85-74 corridor, that's where all the competition is. Like all the competition is in like 4 counties: Mecklenburg, Gaston, Cleveland, Rutherford County. That's where all your football is played at. All those conferences in between those counties are tough conferences to play in. No matter who you play against, who's every game is a chance for you to get beat.
well, it's like the old saying, Will, iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
Well, Will, I want to take just a minute. We've got a few minutes here before the situation is over tonight, but I want to look at conferences aligning for next time and get yours and Tom's comments on these. I'm going to start with the 1A, 2A split Western Conference, conference number 39. You've got Christ the King, Langtree Charter, Mountain Island Charter, Community School of Davidson, Lincoln Charter, and Pine Lake Prep.
Charter school conference.
It's a charter school conference, and that's one of the things that I think the state tried to do. Now, you've got for football only a 1A, 2A conference with Bishop McGuinness, Winston-Salem Carver, Christ the King, who got crucified tonight, Tom.
Yes.
Mountain Island Charter in football will be in that conference. Winston-Salem Prep, Community School of Davidson, and Pine Lake Prep. Again, a lot of charter.
And Pine Lake and Mountain Island have had pretty good 1A programs, so there should be some interesting football in that conference. Bishop McGuinness, a Catholic school, so they should have some good teams.
All right, now we get to the 1A, 2A West Conference, number 40. Now, this is where we get to our folks. Bessemer City, 1A. Cherryville, 1A. Highland Tech, 1A. Thomas Jefferson, 1A. Burns, 2A. East Gaston, 2A. And Shelby, 2A. Tom, I want your thoughts on that conference lineup. You're going to be broadcasting it.
It's stupid. I mean, football-wise, it's just stupid.
Tell us what you really think, Tom.
In baseball and even in basketball, I think it'll be competitive. But why not? Just like you said, they did a separate football conference for the others. Why are they putting Shelby? Didn't you say Highland Tech's in that conference?
Yeah.
Why are we putting Shelby with Highland Tech?
Burns.
Why are we putting Burns with Highland
and Thomas Jefferson?
Well, Thomas Jefferson's had some good teams.
Yeah,
I think Thomas Jefferson are going to hold their own.
Here's what's weird about the whole thing is that they made the original arguments that they want to keep it all in non-split conferences.
Yeah.
Then it turned into, well, we're going to do splits. Well, if you're going to do splits, then why are you splitting county rivals then? Like they in Lincoln County and Cleveland, they have 4 teams, 2As and 3As. It could have easily just been, hey, y'all are all in the same conference. 8 teams, 2 4A, 2 3A, and let's play football. And I don't know who's responsible, who would check that off. The Shelby Highland Tech thing and the Burns thing. I told him earlier, Tom, I would forfeit if I was any of those teams and wouldn't even play them. Health-wise, it's not fair at all. I'm not really concerned about you put whatever score, you name whatever score, but I've played in these games, and I got no value of that from any of that whatsoever. And it's not fun to be in them. It's just it's unsafe almost to a point on that conference.
Yeah,
right
I agree. I agree completely, and I have no idea what the calculus was on this. I have no idea why Thomas Jefferson was taken out of Rutherford County, other than we know RS, Chase, and East Rutherford don't like them. I mean, that's not a big secret, but still, geographic-wise, school size-wise,
that's all the more reason for them to play in that conference in Rutherford County. They don't like each other.
Instead of hurting their feelings, they're going to hurt the Highland Tech and Cherryville investment kids physically on the football
Doesn't
field.
make any sense. I mean, I just don't understand what Q Tucker and the rest of them are even thinking down there. I mean, it is just absolute stupidity, and there's no other word for it.
And the funny thing, Tom, is the unwritten policy has sort of been Cleveland County will not play charter schools. And now we play in a conference with Thomas Jefferson.
Well, we wouldn't play Thomas Jefferson for a while because there was concern about the recruitment of athletes. And
not only that, and they sued Cleveland County Schools.
Yeah, and they sued Cleveland County Schools for money, but also the recruitment of athletes we know that there's a certain amount of ability to transfer amongst schools in Cleveland County. We know there's always going to be that ability in every county, but when you can just out and out recruit, and other schools can't. It's a different set of rules.
Yeah.
So that's why they did. I used to play when I was the soccer coach. We would play Thomas Jefferson every year, and then I was told, quite frankly, no, we're not scheduling them anymore because of the recruitment of our athletes. And I understand they're not doing anything wrong. They're not breaking any laws, but there's unwritten rules. And that's why for a long time that those contests did not take place. And I know the state's trying to force that, and that's fine. But I just think that if you're going to make a football conference, I agree with Kevin that safety, sanity. I think it's much better to see an East Rutherford Thomas Jefferson game than a Shelby Highland Tech game. Just makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No sense.
It makes no sense.
Well, let's look at the 2A West Conference. This is for our folks here: Bandy's, Bunker Hill, East Burke, Lincolnton, Maiden, Newton Conover, West Caldwell, West Lincoln. Any comments?
Yeah, Cherville and Bessemer and them should be with those teams. Like, it's not that hard to look at that.
Yeah.
Like, you could eat, and they sit there and say, here's the thing, what makes me mad, Dennis, is that they said, well, we don't want you driving past some schools to get to others. Tell me who East Gaston's driving by to get to all their schools. Who's Thomas Jefferson driving by to get to theirs? Lincoln and Cleveland should have been in a conference, then put Cherville in there with the Maidens. Maiden used to be 1A with us. They put Cherville in there with Maiden and those teams, or Chase and those. It's one thing, it's one thing to get beat. Teams get beat. That ain't the thing. I've been in these games, and it's just not healthy. It's not right. It's not
demoralizing.
Fair. Yeah, I could tell some funny speeches from the coaches during those games.
Well, here's the cherry picking best conference I've seen on paper. The 3A West Conference, number 50. Listen to this, Kevin. Ashbrook, Kramer, Crest, Huss, who's moving up to play in this conference because of the gate.
And South Point's moving up in 2A.
Forest View, Kings Mountain, North Gaston, and South Point.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a tight little conference right there, Tommy.
Well, some of those schools have been a little down, like North Gaston, Ashbrook, Stuart Kramer's down a little bit this year. South Point's not the typical South Point. I think Kramer and some of the other schools have kind of watered them down a little bit. They're not quite what they once were, but it'll still be a competitive conference, and that's what you want to create. So, I mean, Kevin and I have talked about too. Why not have the 4 Cleveland County schools in with the 4 Lincoln County schools? Yeah. I mean, that would make too much sense. It makes sense.
I don't see where it makes sense for Lincolnton and West Lincoln to have to play the likes of Kings Mountain and Crest. That's why you don't put those teams.
Well, Will, would you rather have Lincoln? Well, first of all, Lincoln has been good and won state championships. They can quit whining about it. Would you rather have them playing Kings Mountain and Crest, or would you rather have Cherville playing Shelby and Highland Tech playing Shelby?
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying there too, but I got the same theory behind what you're saying about Cherville and Highland Tech playing Shelby. I have the same theory behind putting Lincolnton and West Lincoln in it. Any of those Lincoln teams in a conference with Crest.
Will a West Lincoln Crest game would be 10 times better than a Highland Tech Shelby game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that right now. I know what you're saying, that Crest is probably going to handle West Lincoln, but that would be 10 times better than Burns and Highland Tech, or a Bessemer City trying to go out there with 16 players and play Burns. I mean, it's just silly.
Basically, Burns and Shelby can make the playoffs next year just playing their JV team.
It's not good.
They don't even have to play varsity for but 2 games.
Guys, we looked at the East Lincoln North Lincoln game tonight. That's a new conference championship. But look at this next conference, the Western Conference 51. East Lincoln, Ford, Hickory, North Iredell, North Lincoln, St. Stephen's, Statesville, and West Iredell. That'll be the same conference championship playoff next year, Tom.
I mean, it's just, I just have no idea. I have no idea what goes in there. I mean, it's all politics. It's all who likes who wants to just get one over on who. It's ridiculous what goes on in Chapel Hill, and that's what people are frustrated with. And Kevin sent me the text message that it's being investigated for some of its activities. Mm-hmm. And when stuff like this comes out, you wonder like how honest is this organization? I mean, why would you do this?
Ask Kevin how honest they are. Wait a minute, that's a whole nother program.
There's got to be. We got like 7 minutes.
There's got to be.
There's not that much dishonesty in 7 minutes.
But there's ulterior motives here.
Right.
I mean, there's ulterior. That's obvious. Why would you? Not only are you like Kevin brings out, it's not good for Highland Tech. It's not good for Shelby.
No.
Their athletes are trying to show what they can do against other athletes on near their level.
Right.
How are they supposed to impress college coaches? By playing Highland Tech.
And they're going to play one quarter or a half.
It's just, and no disrespect to their kids over there, but it's hurting the kids. It's hurting the coaches. It's hurting the schools. It's going to hurt Gates. People aren't going to want to come to watch the game.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand. It's like, what are your ulterior motives in doing this? And then you hear all kinds of stuff like Kevin sent me the tweet the other day about how they're being investigated for some of their financial activities. And
the question was, the main question, Tom, is do they have legal jurisdiction over telling schools players aren't eligible, and should they be making money off of the public school system is what the legislators are asking. So.
Well, you guys, I'll do this quickly. You made a point about driving by other schools. Listen at this 2A Conference 41. Brevard, Chase, East Rutherford, Hendersonville, Patton, Polk County, and R.S. Central. Figure that one out, Tom.
Well, at least it's more geographically. It makes sense. You got Polk in there with the Rutherford County schools, but you know who else should be in that conference? Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
So why is Thomas Jefferson not in that conference? You're going to make Thomas Jefferson drive to Cleveland County all the
Gaston.
time. And
That's
East
an
Gaston.
hour.
You're going to make him come to
At
East
least,
Gaston.
maybe an hour and a half.
Instead of playing RS Central, which is right down the road, which it's just it's mind-boggling what goes on. And when people get upset, they just don't understand.
So I went through and tried to organize them my own way, and there is an issue with the Cherryville. So there is an issue with Cherryville, Highland Tech, and Bessemer as far as geographic, what's best for them. Once you start separating the counties and doing I tried to separate it as what's best for football, so I did Gaston, Lincoln, and then I said what's best for Cherryville and them. And it's almost, Tom, they could have just kept the same conference they're in. They could have completely kept that same conference because 6 or 7 of those, Dennis, didn't you pull one out a minute ago? Didn't you say there was an all
charter?
The all charter conference. So they kicked out the 4 that's going to be in that one to add something over there. Those guys are staying more east.
You got Christ the King, Langtree Charter, Mountain Island Charter, Community School of Davidson, Lincoln Charter, and Pine Lake Prep. That's a conference. But then, Kevin, they turn around and have a football-only conference.
Right.
Bishop McGuinness, Winston-Salem Carver, Christ the King, Mountain Island Charter, Winston-Salem Prep, Community School of Davidson, and Pine Lake Prep.
I mean, I just don't.
Go figure.
I don't get it.
All right, guys, let's give the final scores for tonight. We're getting off here at 11:30 tonight, folks. This spring, this is our schedule, 5 to 6:30 for the pregame show.
Yeah. Then
we've got Southern Piedmont 1A, Cherryville Ironman Sports pregame show starts at 6. They kick off at 6:30. 6:30, we're going to send it out to our other shows, East Rutherford football, the Cleveland County game of the week, and Lincoln County game of the week at 6:30 for 7 o'clock kickoffs. 7 to 9, Red Zone Radio here, live, highlights. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Had a bunch of folks viewing and tuning in. Joel Clemmer said hello in the comments. He misses us. So hello, Joel.
Hey, Joel. See you last game of the year, Joel.
Yeah. Well, they won 35-0 tonight. Cleveland County is 11-0 on the season, Will. The only reason they're not 12-0 is Kings Mountain was scared to play North Gaston, it looks like.
Hey, wait a minute.
Did I not say that right?
Don't be talking about fear. People will.
The
Blue Devils did
not participate in the ACC tournament. That's just amazing.
You mean the NCAA tournament?
No, they're the ACC tournament.
They played in it.
Oh, they did play.
Yeah, they won 2 games.
They won 2 games, and then they got scared to play Florida State.
Okay, see, I've lost track. I've been busy
they,
every
they
afternoon.
played 2 games, got corona, found out Appalachian won the SoCon, and then quit.
Okay.
I'm just stating the facts, Will. Don't... All right, Lincoln County is 7-5. Rutherford County is 6-6. So there you go. And Gaston County is god awful. I'm not counting those up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Will and Dennis 6, 9, 11 teams have combined to win 6 games.
Well, what's Cleveland County?
I just said 11-0.
11-0.
So in Gaston County, 11 teams have combined to win.
That means they haven't
7
lost,
games.
right?
Yeah,
Lost.
Maybe if they'd have played North Gaston, but Kings Mountain.
I go back to Will's comment about where you can find quality football being played.
Not in Gaston County.
They got too many schools in Gaston.
Friday nights in the eastern part of the county is just so different.
Right. If Cleveland had to split up their teams into schools into 10 teams, they probably wouldn't be too good, would they, Tom? 11 teams in Gaston County. All right, Will, you got any final thoughts before we kick you off, and then we'll finish up here at the studio?
Yeah, let's get to the games next week. I want to see some football. Let's get back to some good football and get away from the politics. Just play some football.
Well, speaking of politics, you want to know who's going to be number 1 in the What's Up Shopper Power Poll next week?
Who?
Somebody stupid.
Do you want to know who's going to be number 1?
It's going to be somebody crazy.
It is somebody really stupid and crazy. Crest Chargers are number 1 next week. Hi, every one of y'all walked into that one, boys.
You mean to tell me the What's Up Shopper poll finally get something right? I would have never imagined.
I'm going to read you the top 4 next week. You ready? Crest 1, Burns 2, Shelby 3, Kings Mountain 4.
Well, that's about right.
So there you go.
And 2 of those will be playing next week.
So your top 4 is Cleveland County.
By week 3. My poll is perfect, as always.
Will, you've always known it's Cleveland County versus the world.
It's Cleveland County versus the world. That is true.
All right, Will. All right, have a good weekend, buddy. Thanks for tuning in, calling in. Have a good evening. All right, that's Will Boykins. I guess he's off in there. I'm not getting up to turn it off. I want to say hello. Good. Yeah, I just heard the ding on the computer. So, want to say goodbye to everybody. Tom, you want to wave everybody? Says waving your belly button at everybody. You could bend over just a half a sec.
Hey,
there you go. Bye, Tom. All right, Tom's out. Dennis is out. We'll see you in the morning. Saturday Sports Talk with Terry Reinhardt and Hunter Yancey will be here in the morning. We'll talk all about those Duke Blue Devils, Tar Heels, and more highlights and more on ktcbroadcasting.com. Thanks for tuning in to the postgame show brought to you by Full Throttle Powersports of Lowell, NC Full Throttle Powersports.com.